This particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us. So the first thing you need to consider under pre-resumption phase preparation by schools is that, number one, there must be thorough cleaning of the environment. This is very, very important. It will be easy for the government agency to properly do what we call the contact tracing. It's preparation by the pupils and students themselves, because all of us need to prepare and we need to be on the same page and make sure that we are ready to go back to school. Education is the cornerstone of development of any developed country, and for us that is developing, education is a very, very important tool for us to achieve development. Education can be used to combat poverty, hunger. It can be used to provide quality health. It can be used to provide clean and sanitation. It can also be used to provide affordable and clean energy and other SDGs. And to get this education, one major tool that is very necessary is information and communication technology. This is very, very important for us to be able to attain the height that we desire as a developed nation. You are welcome to Edugist this week. I'm your regular host, Dr. J.B. Minari. This program promises to provide you with real-time information, keep you up to breast information on educational matters that is happening around our campuses, our schools, our nation, and all over the world. And also, we also interact here to be able to stimulate our creative and innovative mind to bring about the necessary change that we desire in our nation. Today, I have some brilliant minds that's going to do justice to the topic we are discussing today, which has to do with ICT in the 21st century education. They are bright minds, they are young guys from the university, from Nigerian University, and they are doing well. They are also into ICT. But before I bring them on board, now there's this gist I also have for you that came all the way from the Middle Belt from Kwara State University of Ilorin. There was a student that was convicted during the week. This student was involved in a romance scam. And what the student did was that to disguise as a white man called Alex James, and he was trying to scam a woman, a white woman. He pretended as if he was a white man, and the woman almost fell for him, but he was apprehended and was charged by the EFCC. And during the week we had, he was convicted for 3 months of community service. We hope that will teach him a lesson, because that's not what we don't want that in our nation. We actually want our youth to be able to channel their thinking, channel their brain, channel their energy to be productive. I have a gist for you also. And finally, we also know that the federal government also has told all the universities to iron out the proper protocol for resumption, that they should get ready to make sure that they are observing all the protocols that have been given by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Let me just add one more gist that came out. It's just a breaking news that the Academic Union of Colleges of Education in Nigeria they are also embarking on a nationwide strike. They are claiming that the federal government is still having an outstanding of 441 billion naira on the needs assessment that was done for them, and it seems the federal government is not saying anything concerning that. We hope that the federal government will be able to resolve all these issues that they are having with the unions, so that our students can quickly go back to school, and so that they can learn, and so that they can come up to standard with all of their counterparts all over the world. Now, those are some of the gists that I have for you today. This is Edugist on CAC TV. I still remain your host, Dr. J.B. Minari. I'll be going on a short break, and when we come back after the short break, I will bring in one of my guests on here, and then we'll be able to talk about the importance of ICT in education in the 21st century, how we can move forward, and thereafter I'll also bring on the other guests as well. I told you earlier that they are brilliant minds, and I'm very sure that they'll be able to tell us some of their experiences and how we can have a very good setup for our ICTs in our various schools. I'll be right back. This particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us. So the first thing you need to consider under presumption phase preparation by schools is that, number one, there must be thorough cleaning of the environment. This is very, very important. It will be easy for the government agency to properly do what we call the contact tracing. It's preparation by the pupils and students themselves, because all of us need to prepare and we need to be on the same page and make sure that we are ready to go back to school. Welcome back to Edugist on CAC TV. Before we went on break, I told you that today is going to be very, very interesting, as I have some brilliant minds that want to discuss on issue that borders on information and communication technology, ICT, in our education in the 21st century. I told you in my opening salvo that for any serious nation that wants to attain the desired height, ICT is just the way to go, because that's the way other developed countries are going, and is actually assisting and accelerating them to achieve the height that they want. On the show this time, I brought a young mind all the way from University of Lagos. You are welcome. Can I meet
thanks
you,
for having me.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Samuel Family.
Okay.
I'm a student at the University of Lagos.
Okay.
And this is I'm my third year in the University of Lagos, computer science.
Okay. Okay, good. How did you feel, or what prompted you to the Department of Computer Science? Why do you think you should study computer science?
Well, computer science is a problem-solving course.
Okay.
It's related with a lot of problem-solving, using a lot of softwares and technologies to solve problems. And I had my role models, big tech giants that are studying computer science, that use computer science to change the world. So I saw this and I wanted to do this myself.
Yeah, that's very good. So that actually prompted you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, gravitating towards studying computer science and going towards ICT.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's very good. Now, in getting there, how do you think what we have on ground in our institutions, probably to be specific in your department, do you think you have what is good enough to prompt you towards achieving what you think?
I would say that we don't have enough, but there's a lot we can do as personal individuals, because there are a lot of programs online, a lot of institutions that are just giving us some basics that we can build on. But given the institution we have, we don't have enough resources to take us to the level we need to get to. Because of the level of ICT is limitless. We can keep going non-stop. There's always a new height to attain.
Okay, that's very good. Now, can you maybe mention some of those challenges that you think you face in your institution that is actually serving as a cog in the wheel of success, or of you progressing, or actually coming out, or thinking, you understand, thinking brilliantly to come up with some of these ideas and bring. What are some of the challenges that you think you are facing there?
First, what I would say is that we don't have the right models in Nigeria. When you ask young people in Nigeria now, what they want to become in the future, they don't really have something. They don't really have someone they have in computer science, okay, or in the computer, the ICT.
So we lack role models.
Role models, yes,
that you look up to.
They don't really have one. That's one. Then two, I would say the style of teaching. People just come and do it passively. They don't do it actively. They're just like passive about things and just keep going like that. Then I would say that the government as a whole, or government as a whole, doesn't support. They've not been any improvements in our ICT over years. All our ICT technologies have been imported, and every time, always imported. None of us have come up and broken through, because everything, everything, basic programs we use in the banks and everything have been all imported. Nothing else.
So why can't we, since we have some of these things online, we have the system online, why can't we have some homegrown technology for us to sell to probably our banks, even to send into our schools? Because I know that we use a lot of software too in competition of results. You understand my point? Printing of transcript, and what's preventing us from having homegrown technology to actually help us?
Well, I would say this: the ICT something is not easy. It's not something that is very refined or defined. There's a lot of thinking, and a lot of breakthrough. If you have done a little bit research in the field, you just see that there's more to go, and there's more. So most people in Nigeria, like I was learning photography or something. Then I saw that people didn't want to learn the theory. They just want to go straight. And computer science is a lot of theory, a lot of thinking, a lot of trying to make things better. And if you come with a simple something that has been thought of already, someone could have already thought of it. So you have to think way above what has been thought of already. Because you can't come with something that solves the problem halfway, and something that just solves the finish or faster, and you think you have something, a business in that field. It's not possible. So I think you're not ready for that height of knowledge. I've not done enough researches and things like that.
Now, don't you think that sometimes some of the social media platform that we have sometimes could also be a source of distraction? Because I observe that when you go online on several of our social media platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, you see some of our youth very active when it comes to posting something, passing comment of something. Don't you think those things also could serve as distraction? Because the time some people devote to social media activities, if they devote it to, thinking, like you have said, thinking and be able to break through.
All right.
So don't you think that the social media activity is also a distraction for the youth?
Well, I would say no mind can just stay empty. Something has to occupy the mind.
Yes.
So the social media has just played its own role. Like big people, like these people, they know they think. The likes of Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey, the owners of the major ones, as Facebook and Twitter, respectively. So, in likes of them, they've just created a platform for people to. They didn't know that we have our minds. We want to express ourselves. So that's not the problem now. The problem is devoting more time, trying to cut short the time we spend on social media. Social media is okay, and I believe social media just helps us be better versions of ourselves. We meet like minds. We meet people that will give us a reason to live, something like that. You know what I'm saying? It helps us. So I don't really see, but we spend way too much time on this thing. We just need few bright minds. Just need to push few people to go to the technology side and improve the technology we have. We can't just, like some people now, they're not they don't really like doing anything that will make them think too much, or they have things that don't occupy their time finish. Like they have a job from 9 to 2, from 2 to the next day, their mind is not occupied. So social media is what keeps them occupied, and so I think that one is perfectly fine. So far, you're having a steady income, so that's perfectly fine. What I think is that some people, or the people that we have already that are already gone into this, because in our department there are a lot of people that are already gone into this computer science course. So the people that are already done, let them push them, or give motivational talks, or I don't know. I think we've talking a lot. We've given a lot of talks, and talks is not ending.
So we need action now.
Yes, we need action. But I don't know if you can give that talk that will make people go into this thing, because that's what I talk about the role models. We've not had enough role models. When you see somebody who wants to be an artist, or some, sorry for mentioning artists. Artists is not a bad thing, but
Yes.
a lot of people are trying to be artists.
Gravitate towards that.
So-
we have lesser people gravitating towards
Computer science,
information technology, computer
so-
science, and all those kind
I'm
of.
not mentioning computer science because that's what I'm studying. Okay, maybe information technology, computer. Computer science is just a broad name. There's a lot of things and opportunities you can see in computer science. So it's a lot of things, and as social media is not just a platform to express your mind, to do what you want to do, and do it in moderate terms, however you want to do it. That's what I think.
Okay. Now, during the Edugist that I gave, there's a young man from a particular Nigerian university. You know, from the story we got, the guy too very good on social media, on internet, and other electronic stuff. But we discovered that the guy is actually using it fraudulently. So, and we have quite a number of youth that has been caught up along this line. Instead of them using this thing creatively, we discovered that they are using it fraudulently to defraud people, to send messages, to break into people's accounts, and the rest. Now, what do you think we are not doing right? Or what do you think we should be doing? You understand? For us to be able to change these people's mind. They are good. There's no doubt about that. But for us to be able to bring their mind back so that we can change this negativity, okay, and change it to becoming a positive aspect of their life, so that they can use this knowledge they have and breaking people's account. You can use it positively, and like you have mentioned earlier, we have people that have invented a lot of this social media platform, and they are making it. Look at the number of people that some of them they've employed, they've engaged, you know, in their need. Like I said in my opening salvo, that is a way to go that if we really want to enhance our economy. So what do you think we can do, or what are the things that we are not doing that we need to do so that we can bring back some of these young guys that are using their thoughts negatively to make them positive and good citizens of the country?
Well, this thing is just like it's endless chain of people learning from each other. They are giving themselves the idea. I don't know how to do it, but I think they just give themselves ideas. They go about asking themselves. They say this is the real, this is the real, and they just keep giving themselves that way. And I think as a Nigerian, that way, that their specific way has been helping them. You see someone you grew up with, you see him going on the latest things, doing the latest stuff, doing this thing. You want to be like him, go and meet him. He's your guy. He doesn't want you to, sorry, he's your person, or whatever you can call him. He doesn't want you to slag behind or something like that. He gives you the way and teaches you all these things. This thing has been helping them. But what I would say is that I think government people are not doing enough in stopping this from keeping on going on. So let's just stop. If we can stop it, maybe they'll think in another direction. Because we can't just tell them that this is a way, and they see that the way is possible, and they will not go the way. Because if you stop the way, if you block it, but not as if you just start maltreating people. You just find a way, or maybe like gradually remove their mind and improve the economy and show them new opportunities and greater opportunities. They will be able to say, okay, it's not necessarily I go this way. Because even normally they know themselves that this way I will encounter problems, I'll do these problems, but I still go that way. Because they know they'll just go that way. But like, because they don't really have many options like that. They know that they will encounter problems. They will have the SARS will harass them, all those kind of problems, and they still go that way. They know that they can end up in jail. But if you just show them another opportunity, creating opportunities is something that can be done privately. So I can't always say government. So if you can just push them, create their mind, show them new ways of living life. Like, okay, maybe if we cannot have physical examples, we can show like a commercial or a movie revolving around a sector that can at least show them new ideas, new ideologies that will give them. That's what I can say. I don't really know what's going to do about the growing this in the scam.
You've said a lot that
right.
Should bring out something that can actually change their mind and let them begin to think differently.
Yes, sir.
Now, also, don't you think that sometimes we are being too materialistic, that is also affecting our youth, because you know some youth will just say, oh, I saw my friend he's driving the latest car, he's put on the latest wear. Do you understand my point? You know, in some other clients you discover that people take pride in creativity. You might not really show off what you have, but you say, ah, that's the person that actually wrote this, that's the person that wrote that program, that's the person that brought up that software, and then everybody will be celebrating the person. What do you think about being materialistic? Is that we are too materialistic?
Everyone, almost everyone, everywhere is materialistic. We are always about. It's not exactly a bad thing, but when you place it as priority, that's when it's a bad thing. That I can do anything to get what I want. Anything, so far I get what I want, that's what is making it very, very terrible. And people are ready to do just anything to get it. So I think we are materialistic enough, too much, because that's what we gain. That's what people gain. Many people gain, or as humans, they gain joy in having things, driving the latest cars, showing off to their friends, being. They just gain joy in doing that kind of thing. So it's not about to be materialistic. You want to be in vogue. You don't want to be slacking behind. You don't want to be. But when you place it as priority, you don't have any morals or any principles guiding your actions.
So to be going too far. Okay, finally, what do you think? What do you think is your advice now for maybe the schools now? What's your short advice to them, that what can we do as a school, maybe in your school, your department, what can they be doing to actually gear you towards this creative mind?
Firstly, if you can set up clubs, maybe you can set up clubs so we can push each other to
various clubs.
Set up clubs. That's one thing we can do. We can go for empowerment, not only for the students, but for the
teachers,
to know what's involved, because most of the things they are teaching us are just theories. Which I said theory is okay, but you have to learn more practical too. Very more, like you have to learn the practical things. You have to know because technology is changing. What was in vogue like last 3 years is gone off by now. So we have to change that. Then you have to just keep open and keep praying.
Keep talking about it.
Yes.
And hoping that will change. Thank you very much, Samuel, from Department of Computer Science, University of Lagos. We'll go on a short break now, and when we are back, I'll also bring another young and bright mind also to also discuss on this subject matter. We'll be right back. This particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us. So the first thing you need to consider under presumption phase preparation by schools is that, number one, there must be thorough cleaning of the environment. This is very, very important. It will be easy for the government agency to properly do what we call the contact tracing. It's preparation by the pupils and students themselves, because all of us need to prepare and we need to be on the same page and make sure that we are ready to go back to school. You're welcome back to Edugist. Before we went on the other break, I told you that we are bringing up another bright mind on this Edugist, and we are looking at the ICT, the role of ICT in education in this 21st century. We'll be able to establish some things before the other guest left. Now I have another bright mind here, all the way from Joseph Ayobabala University. Can I meet you, sir?
I'm Ajanaku Sama.
Okay.
400 level student of computer science, Ayobabala University.
You are welcome. So, he's a final year student from Joseph Ayobabala University. Now, what prompted you to say you want to study computer science?
I actually wanted to study computer science because of the initial course I had in mind to do before. So, and I was actually advised to go for computer science, that after that I can then move to the course, because I can just use that one as a advanced course. So I can.
Okay, what was the course? What was the course you had in mind initially?
I was hoping to do aeronautic engineering before.
Okay.
So then I was advised to go for computer science first, and then when I'm done with my computer science, I go for
proceed to that
aeronautic engineering. Yes.
Okay. So is there any correlation between the two, or how do you think you want to fit into the two?
Yes. With the knowledge of my programming aspect and my computer science knowledge, I can actually use that to work on the when I move to the aeronautic engineering course, where maybe the communication aspects, then other things they put together to communicate in the plane.
Okay, that's very good and very, very interesting. Now, on getting to your department, what do you think are the things that you expected that probably you didn't see that you think there could be an improvement on?
Number one, the theory aspect was too much.
Okay.
Then no basic practicals, unlike some other universities now. Maybe they teach them programming, a lot of programming, and that's why you see most of graduates these days, when they graduate, most of them find it very hard to even do some little programming, which they ought to be taught in school. But most of them can't do that. Then they go for extra training somewhere, maybe to enroll in a computer school, then learn all these basic programming. Most computer science students don't even know how to build a website, doesn't even know how to fix problems whenever there are issues based on communication. But the theory aspects, they are good at it, but they lack very well at the practical aspect.
So the problem we have now is that there is a big lacuna between the theory and the practical. So if we have a synergy now, we'll be able to come up properly with something. Exactly. But so far, how have you been able to cope?
I actually went for extra classes.
Okay.
So from one computer school to another, and then I actually get myself engaged in online teachings.
Okay.
So I go online and get classes and get handouts, watch some videos, and start working on it to actually push myself, so that whenever I'm done, I will not just be good at the theory aspect, but also at the practical aspect as well.
Are you not also distracted with some of the social media activity? I know you also have a lot of presence on the social media.
Yes, but
are you able to manage because I know some people they are so much distracted that they might not be able to focus on what they want to do online. Yes.
But the thing there is that I don't actually get myself attached too much with the social media, so I'm not really too free like that to social media. Not like too free like that. I'm not too frequent to social media like that. So I get myself engaged in one thing or the other, because then lots of programming stuff I need to actually check on and read, and to also improve myself, so that later maybe when I get to an organization that they need someone to handle the practical aspects, I'll be able to do that, and I won't just be lacking behind and start going for training by that time. So
now, if you look at, we are looking at ICT in our educational sector. If you look at where education is today, we need a lot of ICT in actually even communicating and teaching. Okay. And recently we saw what happened with the COVID-19, the pandemic that ravaged the whole world, and then it seems we are being forced to stay at home, and most of us are being forced to operate from home. Now, schools were expected to be able to communicate with their students through using the technology. How did you think? Do you think we fared very well? Do you think we did well in using ICT to reach out to our students to teach them?
The COVID-19 actually brought out like
A lot of weaknesses.
A lot of weaknesses, yes, exactly. So, and it actually prompted a lot of people to actually want to know how to use the ICT.
Okay.
And even churches itself this time, then
yes, as there are so many churches, you know, churches were forced to also, go online,
and
yes.
So those that don't even have idea about anything like that before, they have to force themselves to get to know it at that period of time, then so that they can also reach out to their members at home. So it won't be like like a CAC member watching the Redeem program and watch it for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then later that won't forget that he has a church already that he already attends. So then for the schools like that too as well, they actually tried to reach out to their students maybe through online classes, but most of them make use of maybe like Google Meet, then Telegram, to also reach out to their students to engage them in the online classes.
Now, don't you think, because I saw that also as an opportunity, I saw a lot of platforms that people were using for meetings, you understand my point? And if you look at some of those platforms, we still have some shortcomings with them. I discovered that some of these platforms we use is just good for majorly personal communication. That's what I mean by when somebody is talking, everybody needs to mute, not to talk.
Yes.
If not, there will be so much of interference. So, do you think now that we should begin to think from our own end as well? You understand? And also building up a homegrown solution to fit our own needs, so that when you can accommodate as many, and then the talking will be real time. There won't be this a little bit of lagging time, because I discovered that in some cases when you are meeting with some of these platforms, when you talk, it takes a little fraction of seconds to delay before you hear from them. So if you are praying, for example, and you are expecting them to say amen, you discover that there will be this lagging time before it fixes back. I mean, those are some of the challenges. And I think, don't you think these are opportunities that those of you in this field can actually work on and come out with something?
I would say we need encouragement and lots of teachings and tutorials. Then for that aspect of the delay you talked about, it's most times it's actually the network actually affects it most times. Then maybe because we are in different locations, and network,
you can't guarantee the network of
the network. So
the person you are talking
network
to
can fail at any time. So, and then there is something we call bitrate again. So the bitrate actually delays audio most times. So maybe if you say something now, before the other person could get it at the other hand, it might take like 2 seconds or 5 seconds most times. So there are ways they can adjust this bit rate, and so that when you speak, it drops at the same time. Yes.
So that we're able to get the real time. Yes. Now, because going forward from here now, even after resumption, I'm also looking forward to we using some of this technology to communicate effectively well to our students. Even though, yes, we still appreciate that there's a room for the physical contact in classes. We need to talk to our students, but also we can also take advantage of some of this technology. What do you think the schools should be thinking on now, going forward, at least with the little resources that we have, is to improve on our information technology? We have so many countries of the world that's what they are really feeding on. You understand my point? They are building up their technology, and they are getting their earnings from here. Unlike, this part of the world that we depend on natural resources, they build on human resources, build on technology, and then fund their education, and then come out with products and then sell it. And then those are some of those things that we too are also embracing. So what do you think that schools should be looking at now? Number one, to actually communicate, effectively well to their students, and number two, to also see how the students also can develop indigenous or homegrown technology that can really, really help us.
I would say the online classes or the e-learning is also going to help.
Okay.
Because the school is not just only to provide curriculum materials for students in school,
Okay.
but they are to also produce for students outside school as well. Maybe some who are at home based on one reason or the other, or those who are indisposed in the hospitals. So they can also go along with the teachings that's actually going on in school. And they also have to invest in these communication devices.
Okay.
Most computers lack, most schools lack computers. They don't have enough computers, and they don't even have a fast internet to even go live for the e-learning, for the online classes. So they have to work to get those materials done, then to get them provided for the students, so they can be able to go along with the classes, and one person will just be lacking, that won't be able to join the classes.
Okay. Now I have this question. You notice that probably in my own university we were not privileged to have phones. The phone we had then was the landline phone that you have to go somewhere and then be ringing. Now we have access to this. Now, what do you think we can do to our youth not to get engaged in some of the vices that we're having? Because we notice that as good as some of these technologies are, they are also like a catalyst, okay, to accelerating maybe insecurity. You can easily pass information across to people, unlike before. You can easily form a group, communicate to people that, oh, let's meet somewhere, you know, instigating people for violence, and a lot of insecurity issues that we have. And they are using, even terrorists these days will record themselves and then send it. You understand? To also create, unlike before, there's nothing like that. It's only what they show to you on TV that you have access to. But now, sometimes you even have access to information first before even get. So what do you think we can, and then there are also a lot of issues of fraud against Nigerians all over the world, that they are using some of this information technology, okay, to commit crime. So what do you think, what are the practical steps also we can also take for us to be able to curb some of these things, to redirect our youth to properly channel this thing to the positive side?
Okay. We have a lot of youths who are very good at doing things, like those who are good with programming, and those who are good with those that are good in different areas, but then they don't have like a place to showcase them.
Okay.
Whereby maybe like those who have graduated, who doesn't have a job, and then they will now like try to find a means to at least to survive. So then they go into the bad side, and that's what prompts people to go into fraud, online scamming and stuff like that, because they know when they do that, at least they might be caught at the end, but they will still have what they went there to get. Like, they are still going to achieve it. So I would just say they should provide enough employment for youth, that they can go there and work and use their knowledge to build the community. So it won't just be that they are using it for the bad things. So like they will be able to use it positively.
Okay.
So to also improve the community, and to also increase their ICT capabilities, then to learn other programs too, and then bring them together and try and achieve more things.
Okay, good. Now, I'm very sure you must have heard about the 5G issue that came about. And when the pandemic just came on board, there was a lot of issues around this 5G issue. Some even said it's the 5G that gave birth to the virus, and so on and so forth. Some people said it's the 5G that is killing, that we should reject. What's your opinion about the 5G technology?
The 5G technology, well, some said it's demonic. because you can call without having your mobile phone with you. So you can just the thumb can be used as the earpiece, while the last finger can be used for the mouthpiece. And then the 5G technology, I don't. Well, they said it's very very fast. I've not used it before, so I don't know anything about it.
And
So said,
why did they say it's demonic? Is it because you do it like what of the set we are using now that that is wireless? In those days we are using a wired one. Now that is wired, you are speaking to a metal and somebody is receiving it elsewhere, maybe as far away as another continent. Is that not also demonic if you look at it from that angle? If you say 5G is demonic?
Well, for that 5G, there have to be like implanted chip into the body system, so the 5G will be enabled. They said it's due to what they said. It's maybe on the finger, at the palm, or at the forehead. So if you don't have that chip, you won't be able to make use of the 5G network. And based on what I watched the movie Bloodshot. So the guy too, he was being implanted with a chip as well. So, and then they tried to control him and use him for bad things because he's very good. He was in the military before. So the bad guys now implanted the chip in him, then tried to use him to get people they can't even have access to. Maybe like top politicians they've tried to murder, they can't kill them. So then they use that chip in controlling the guy, so he can just go and kill them. Of course, with the chip he can't die. He can't die with the chip. So they just they use that chip to like resurrect him. Then they use the chip for bad things in him as well.
Okay, so don't you think we can also redirect the chip also to a positive thing if we even think that, and that's why I've been thinking of advocating for a homegrown solution. So don't you think that the chip also can be redirected properly?
It can be redirected.
Okay, to positive things. So if we have a faster network now,
yes, if we have
some of those things that we discussed earlier. Having a sound at real time,
yes, like
stand by point, and then we're able to open up our economy very well. Yeah. Okay, what's your advice now for your school, your community? What are the things you think they should put in place to enhance ICT in your school?
I would say they should try and both staffs and students should get more familiar with the ICT, because it's really going to help in a very long way, because we don't know where we are going to meet ourselves in future. We might meet ourselves in a ICT-based organizations, so that you'll be able to handle things yourself. You'll be able to handle things yourself without the help of anybody. So you have personal confidence in yourself based on what you've been taught before. Then you can actually put them together, your knowledge and maybe those you acquired from school and the ones you got maybe from internet and the ones you did outside. So you can just put them together and to positively impact the society.
Okay, thank you very much. It's nice having you on the program. Thank you very much. It's been Edugist on CAC TV. I've spoken to two bright minds today, and coincidentally, most of them bear Samuel. One Samuel from University of Lagos, University of First Choice and the Nation's Pride. The second Samuel from Joseph Ayobaba University, the first entrepreneurship university in Nigeria. It's been a nice time having them on this program, and they've been able to tell us some things that is expected of our various institutions, is expected by society, is expected by the community, to make sure that we're able to direct our youth, to make sure that they come out better. Our youths are not lazy. If we give them a lot of encouragement, as one of them mentioned, role modeling, we should set ourselves as good role model for them to follow. We should support them and also encourage them, and not just encouraging just one sector, but encourage ICT so that our nation also can be where we desire to be. A lot of practicals in school is needed, a lot of funding is needed, and people should not resist the change as they come. I'm not saying that, oh, this one is demonic, this one is bad. Is ICT is very dynamic, like one of them said. On a daily basis, there is improvement on it, and also in the developing countries like ours, we can actually also develop our homegrown technology so that we will not be left behind in the community of nations of the world. This is Edugist. I'm being your host, Dr. J.B. Minari. See you next time, as I also bring some other guests. I promises to be very, very interesting, educative, informative, and also stimulating your creative and innovative mind. Thanks for joining us this week. See you next time. This particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us. So the first thing you need to consider under presumption phase preparation by schools is that, number one, there must be thorough cleaning of the environment. This is very, very important. It will be easy for the government agency to properly do what we call the contact tracing. It's preparation by the pupils and students themselves, because all of us need to prepare and we need to be on the same page and make sure that we are ready to go back to school.